So the message I have to deliver is about knowing when to release people, places, and things that are not serving your higher self. I just was reminded of a time when I lived in Hawaii and my son almost drowned at the beach. The beaches in Hawaii are amazing, but you cannot be playing around with the water. I don't care how strong a swimmer you are, and I'm a pretty good swimmer, and so is my son. And he got caught up in a riptide. I was hanging out with my girlfriend, Rebecca, and her son at the beach, and we was actually about to leave. But the kids were sent back to the water to wash the sand off of their flip-flops or their slides or whatever. And then me and her were talking. And then I looked and I noticed that the kids was drowning. And so I run into the water to go and save them or try and save them. And I get into the water where they are, and once I got to them, they were panicking or whatever, and then the kids started doing what you do when your life is in danger, right? They started grabbing on me and pulling on me, grabbing tight around my neck. And so because they were in fear mode, the only thing I could do at the time was lift her son up and throw him closer to the shore. And the people that were on the beach seeing what was happening, and they started running towards the water. So I had lifted up her son and kind of threw him closer to the shore out of the riptide. And then it's just me and my son in the water. And then my son is grabbing around me. I know he's terrified because he thinks he's drowning, or he was drowning. So he's grabbing around my neck and he's pushing me underwater. And so I'm trying to grab him off of me and try to lift him up and throw him up out of the water. And so this go on until the lifeguard comes and bring her life-saving device for both of us to hold on to. And she takes us back to the water. I'm so grateful for her for saving both of our lives. Because again, it doesn't matter how strong a swimmer you are. When someone is trying to save their own life and you trying to save theirs, you can end up both drowning and dying, okay? So I had asked the lifeguard, I said, what do I do in the event that something like that happens again? What do I do to save my life and try and save the life of somebody else? And she said, float on your back. That's the best thing you could do. She said to float on your back. Okay. I'm reminded how powerful the brain is, that with our mind, we can sink or swim. God really has built in us the ability to save our own lives or to kill us, basically, with our mind, right? Because we can all float, no matter how big or small someone can be. We can float and save our own lives, or we can drown by thinking we can't swim, by being fearful. We can drown ourselves, right? When no one else needs to be around, we can kill ourselves or we can save ourselves, right? That's basically what I've been learning about life in this spiritual awakening. And so when I got that memory placed back into my head, it reminded me that we can love people to death. We can want the best for everybody. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? And so we can try as much as we can to try and save everybody. But if they're not getting it, they're going to die. And if we're not getting the message that they're not trying to save their life, we can die too, okay? So when I'm sitting down outside, that memory came to me. And then I thought about the movie Lost, or basically any movie where, it's Armageddon, it's the end of the world. It's a whole bunch of movies out there. 2012, it's a lot of movies out there talking about our survival. And then I'm thinking about, how in all those movies, there's somebody that fall down. They break their ankle, they hurt themselves. And so now they become like a burden to the people that aren't hurt, that now two people got to carry them, or one person carrying them on their back, and then it's inevitably slowing that person down, okay? And then it becomes a matter of, am I going to save my own life, or I'm going to die trying to save someone else's, okay? Because you can find yourself in a position, friends, being that great human being that you are, trying to do the best that you possibly can with your great heart and your great intentions to try and save another life. But if someone is telling you with their words or with their actions that they don't want your help, you should heed what they say. Love them, love them, love them. But people can bring you down. Places can bring you down. Situations can bring you down and kill you, okay? So are you going to risk your life trying to save everyone? Or you want to save the people that actually want to be saved? Because I find that there's those two people in the world that they are absolutely content and fine where they are. They know what's happening. They know what's going on, and they don't care two F's about it. And then you have the people that is like, I don't like what's happening. I don't like what's going on. And I want to change, but maybe they don't know how to, or which direction to start, or what to do about the situation. You know what I'm saying? So it leads me to this. In this spiritual awakening, with this mass consciousness awakening, I'm all about being here on this planet, spreading my love and light, spreading positivity to uplift you magnificent beings that are watching these messages and sharing these messages, and just are acting with the great character that God has bestowed in all of us to be magical beings, to share love and light, okay? And these people, you people watching me, listening to me, I'm here for you all the time. But you have to know when. You have to know when to cut people off and out of your life, or they will drown you. And I experience this all the time in friendships. You know, I had to leave situations behind. I almost took my own life. I almost took my own life on a few occasions because the experience that I was in was not lifting me up. It wasn't giving me the love that I was giving it. And that's a precarious place to be, where I could have no longer been here on this planet spreading my love and spreading my light, because the situation was drowning me until God showed me something different. God was like, you holding on to something that don't want to be held on to, and you need to recognize that, because I was losing it in here, and in my heart I was closed off, and I wasn't trying to hear the message that God was trying to bestow on me until it became so real that I was considering a backup plan for my children if I did what I was planning on doing, what the visions were showing me. And then I realized that is not how I want my children's life to be. And so I took a step. I took a step in nothing but faith, okay? And I decided to end my marriage. That was the situation I had to let go of, a 20-year marriage, right? 7 months after a 20-year vow renewal, I had to tell my children's father that I did not want to be in that relationship anymore. And I'm so grateful. It's not a crutch. I have accomplished so much healing because I had to let that go. And I see this in so many different situations and so many relationships and so many friendships of people that I know that are experiencing the same thing. They're holding on to an idea. They're holding on to the fact that they have a husband, that they have a wife, that they're in a relationship. They're holding on to a mortgage. They're holding on to an idea that's no longer serving their own happiness. Okay, and when you are holding on to a love that is crumbling you, that is making you physically ill and sick, because I know people that are in the hospital because of the sickness of the love that's not filling them up with actual real love that's supporting them. When you're holding on to something that has become a detriment to your own health and well-being, this is a sign that you have to cut things out of your life. And this isn't harsh. This isn't cutthroat. This is only the truth. That sometimes, let's say a pair of shoes that was good for you. You got one pair of shoes and it was flip-flops and they fit amazing. And it was wonderful in the summertime, but you're not going to wear or need those same shoes if you living in New York City in the winter. Your feet are going to freeze. You're going to freeze. So you're going to have to invest in something different. Right? You only have space for one pair of shoes, and that's on your feet. We can't wear flip-flops year round if you're living in an environment that just doesn't afford that to be comfortable for you. So think of your life like that. Sometimes you outgrow people. Sometimes you outgrow situations. Sometimes you outgrow environments that are no longer serving you. The person you were in high school shouldn't be the person you are today if you're in an unhappy state. If you're in a happy state and you high vibrational and everything is working out for you, then okay, then that's good. Stay that way. But you're in a place, and this is who I'm talking to, the people that are in a place of feeling stuck. If you're in a place that you're stuck and you are feeling like, oh my God, this can't be it, it's not it. This is what I'm telling you. This isn't it. There's more for you. And God wants you to release the things that are not serving you. How do you know it's not serving you? Are you happy right now? How are you feeling in your life? Are you in a great place? Are you just giving gratitude every day because your life is going exactly the way you want it to go and it's making you feel amazing? You with your grandbabies, you with your children, you with your pets, you're in an environment that makes you feel good. Because if you're not feeling a high vibrational state, if you're not giving gratitude every single moment for the amazingness that is your life, then there is something that needs to be looked into. Okay? Some people only find that out when they are on their deathbed. That, maybe I wasn't where I was supposed to be. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. That deathbed, that near-death experience seemed to wake us up sometime. But then it's too late for a lot of people. A lot of people don't get the do-over. But the do-over can be right now. The do-over can be right now. What is going on in your life? Because the state of the world is in a little bit of a crazy time, right? I mean, it's always been that way, but right now, if you're paying attention to what's going on worldwide, you'll notice there's some things that are happening. And these things that are happening are affecting us as a whole. And we have to do something about that. And how do we do something about that individually? We have to change who we are. Because we have to be the change that we want to see. We cannot sit back unhappily in marriages, in relationships, in careers, in environments that aren't making us happy. Because if we stick in these environments that aren't making us happy, we're fueling energy that is low vibrational. It's hopelessness. It's like, oh my God, this victim mentality. And if you believe in God, you cannot have hopelessness. If you believe in God, you cannot be a pessimist. If you believe in God, you must know there are better days coming. You must believe in faith that something better is coming and happening for us. If you believe in God, you cannot be hopeless. You can't be one and the other. That's impossible because God is hope. God is inspiration. God is faith in something greater than what currently is. And people don't realize that fact, that God is not hopelessness. God is, I'm not going to have kids on this planet and I've heard so many people say that I won't ever have kids here. Why not? Why won't you have kids here? Oh, this place is crazy. Is it? So you don't think it's going to get better? You think it's only going to go downhill? And what you said? You faithful? To who and to what? To hopelessness? To giving up? Because that doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like people aren't really thinking about the things that they are saying when they talk about loving and believing and being faithful to God. Because I'm a reminder of truth, okay? I trigger people with the memory of knowing what this world actually is. It is a beautiful place, but we got to find that beauty within us. But if we're looking at world through a skewed lens of this is the best it can be, then we're not looking at it through God's eyes. We're looking at it through the eyes of the negative energies, or through the perception of what's in front of us in the 3D reality. But spiritually, you can't be connected if you have lost hopelessness, right? If you've lost hope. So that was the message, friends. And no, you would not be in a bad relationship if you had the right person. And that right person is out there for everybody, right? That right person is out there for everybody. It's just a matter of, are you willing to wait for that great person, right? I'm willing to wait for that great person, right? Because God has shown me through karmic lessons that I will not settle for bullshit, right? I'm willing to wait on me because I am in a wonderful relationship with God anyway. So I'm not losing out on anything, honestly. But friends, I hope that you are all doing wonderfully and that you reflect on your life. And if it's not going the way that you want it to go, that you step in the direction that you want it to go in, and pray to God for the answers, like look within. Don't distract yourself all the time. Go within, meditate, pray, sit in nature. All that good stuff is helpful. And most importantly, ask God to show you the way, because she will. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for always watching the videos. Thank you for sharing. Please like and subscribe and pass the message along. I do see this world as being just like the Michael Jackson song, Heal the World, Make it a better place. Like, yes, I'm that hopeful. I am that crazy that I believe this world will be so much better. And I support that vision until my very last breath. Like, that's the truth. That's the truth for me. And I hope it begins to be the truth for those that have lost their way and don't feel like that's even possible, because I absolutely do with every fiber of my being. And I mean these messages, every single one that I create, I mean every single one of them. That's how much love I have for this planet, okay? Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. You are all magical, spiritual beings here that have the most joy-filled human existence. So please have one and show someone how to have that one, that same joyful world if they aren't having one, friends, okay? I love you, I love you, I love you so much, and have a wonderful day from wherever you're watching from. Bye.